Hey, Shane Beauregard, your personal trainer here. Sorry, I am about 2 minutes late. I had some Google Chrome issues. So let's jump in and get right into it. And I'll have to apologize just ahead of time, just for a little bit. My son will be getting home from gymnastics in about 10 or 15 minutes. So you're going to hear a lot of commotion come through that front door. And again, I do apologize for that. But let's get into what I got asked this week, which is about home gym equipment. So, what is essential in your home gym? And that depends. That depends on a couple things. It depends on the space that you have to work out in, and it depends on your budget. So, unless you have, okay. So, sorry, it's been another long day here. So, but essential, I would say a dumbbell rack that goes to at least 30 pounds. The problem with that now is good luck trying to find dumbbells anywhere because they are all on back order. So, having some dumbbells available, tubing with the handles on them. I have one with like little clips so you can stack the bands. They're called like stackable bands. I have a set of those. Also make sure you get the one with the door stopper in there, so it just allows you to do more exercises. So tubing would be a great idea. Again, some light weights. As far as cardio equipment, not essential. A lot of people don't have enough room for like a bike or a treadmill or anything like that. But if you did have room for one of those, I would say an upright bike or one of those old school Aerodyne Schwinn bikes would be good to have in your home gym. You have your TRX suspension trainer would be a good purchase. And bands, really. That's about all you need. Again, it depends on the size of the space that you're working out, but if you are tight on space and then tubing, bands, and some light dumbbells, you can get away with that for now. Unless you're lucky enough to like have a detached garage with a full bench press and rack, then that would be ideal, but not a lot of people have that option. But I will warn you, and I come across this more than probably the average person just because I do follow more fitness Instagram pages, Facebook. I just try to get tag some coaches and kind of get what they're saying. So watch out for these advertisements from these companies or these Instagram celebrity trainers or YouTube celebrity trainers trying to sell you on you can gain a bunch of muscle and get stronger just by doing tubing and band exercises. They are flat out lying to you. Now, let me back up just a second. If you haven't worked out at all, and say you are beginning, you're just beginning, you haven't done any exercise at all, you can build some muscle, yes, and you can build some muscular endurance. And you can build some strength, obviously, because you're starting from ground level, pretty much. So you will work your way up to a certain point, and then you're going to plateau. But if you've been working out for a while, and you haven't been to a gym, let's say squat, let's just use a nice number, 225. Let's say you were last squatting 225. Well, let me tell you something. Working out at a home gym, doing like 30-pound dumbbell stuff and a bunch of bands, and then let's say you do that for 5 to 6 weeks, you go back to a normal gym, you're not squatting 225 anymore. I can guarantee you that. Now, bands and tubing is great to kind of keep what you have. You can build on muscular endurance. And there are some tricks of the trade to add resistance if you have a pair of light dumbbells. You can pair some exercises up with super bands. So the super band is basically big, thick rubber band. They come in different levels of thickness. Like let's say you want to do shoulder press and you only have 20s, right? So what you do is I go from a kneeling position, put one part of the band under my knee, and put the other one up under the dumbbell. So I'm lifting the dumbbell and the super band at the same time. So that's one way you can kind of use some trickery to add resistance. But it is funny that was brought up to me today because I am doing a video on just essentials for home gyms. So tubing, light weights, yoga mat would be great, and yeah, that's it. And cardio equipment if you can fit it, upright bike or Schwinn or a heavy bag is a great option. Jump rope, which a lot of people don't jump rope anymore, but is one of more jump rope is one of the better exercises you can do just for conditioning and burning calories, but a lot of people don't jump rope. They don't know how to jump rope or they're afraid to jump rope. So but I will tackle that in another video down the line. Let's see what else I got this week. What is the best overall exercise. Now, you'll hear people say a squat, but it's a traditional deadlift. That is pound for pound the best exercise that you can do. But you have to do it right. I'm not talking about in one of those nice little trap bars. I'm talking just a regular straight bar deadlift with good form, because it fires up so many muscles. It activates the most muscles. Pretty much works your entire posterior chain down from your calves up to your traps. You also get some core activation. It works a little bit on the biceps. So if I had to do one exercise, it would be the deadlift, but you have to do it right, please. It's a very technical lift. It takes practice. And it's also very functional. And a lot of people use the word functional these days, but deadlifting is one of the most functional things you can do. And it also helps with your posture. Because another thing happening today, and I forgot the name of the condition. I do apologize. But there's actually a condition now that people are seeing physical therapists for because they're becoming rounded at the shoulders from working on their computers and their desks for like 8 to 10 hours a day. So we need to work on getting those postural muscles back. So deadlifting is something that can definitely help you. It helps boost up your metabolism as well because it increases testosterone production. So deadlifting, if I had to do one exercise, it is a traditional straight bar deadlift. Don't let anyone tell you different, for all you squat lovers out there. Let's see here. What else do we have? Cardio before or after weight training. Pick your poison on that one. It really depends on what your goals are. Personally, I can't do I don't do cardio and weights in the same section. If I do lift heavy or hard, I will walk about 10-15 minutes after I get done lifting, and then I use my cardio days, my 45 to 60 minute sessions, usually on my off days from lifting. But to get back to the question, it's really up to you. If you want to do cardio first and then lift weights, that's no problem. But the way I see it is, if you may be so taxed from doing your cardio, you're not going to be able to lift efficiently with the weights, and kind of vice versa. Depending on what kind of weight training you're doing, you might feel like garbage and not even want to do cardio. But there's no right or wrong answer. I've seen it done both ways. But when people come to me, I usually have them warm up. We'll hit the weights first, and I'll have them do cardio afterward. So just kind of trial and error. Go what you see what you like. Mix it up. And there's no wrong answer there. Let's see. How much weight to start with when you're first starting a workout. So now, you're going to have to use your own rating system here. So we have an RPE scale, ratings of perceived exertion. Let's say 1 is just kind of chilling on the bench press. Yeah, oh, hold on here. Yes, Eric. Trap bar deadlift, it is easier on the back. It does put you in a better position. And I'm not saying it's a bad one, but I just like the straight bar lift. I know... I just like the straight bar lift. I do trap bar deadlifts once in a while because it does put you in that nice natural position. It allows you to sink your hips a little bit lower, and you don't have to worry about that bar travel path. So what I mean is no more skin shins. So, but if you do have back issues, yeah, absolutely do the trap bar deadlift. It's still one of the best exercise for you, hands down. What to start with weight wise. So use your RPE scale, 1 being chilling on the bench, 10 being almost passing out, seeing unicorns and elves. If you're shooting for 10 reps, if it's too easy, then if you get to 10 reps too easy, then obviously you want to bump up the weight. If you can't get to 10 reps, then obviously it's too hard. So I would say go between a 7 and a 9 on the RPE scale, and then just adjust from there. And then when you want to bump up in weights, if you could do that same weight 2 sessions in a row, increase the weight by 5 pounds and go at it that way. So Eric, I can't do cardio first. I could walk first, but I can't do cardio. A good fix to the whole cardio weight training session, that's where Metcon workouts come in handy. The one where you mix up quick burst activities with strength training. So you do like 10 reps of something, then you go do some burpees, wall balls, squats, swings. So you do strength components and kind of cardio components, and then you really get a good calorie burn and get your cardio in and burn some calories that way. So Metcon workouts are the way to go for that one. Let's see. Rest between sets. Okay. How long should you rest between your sets? Depends on what you're doing. If you're doing deadlifting, squats, if you're one of these people who still bench presses, I wait about 2 minutes per set. The compound exercise is the only one I'll do by itself. Usually I only have about 40 to 50 minutes to work out on my own. So my first exercise of the day is one of the major lifts, and then I superset everything else. And I get out of the gym in about 45 minutes. So, but you want to rest about between 2 and 5 minutes with your major lifts. 5 minutes is a long time, but if you're one of these people who are working like in the 1 to 4 rep range, then it is needed. You want to get the energy, the ATP restored, and you want enough energy to go again and just bang out those reps that you're trying to achieve. But if you're working on muscular endurance, then 30 to 90 seconds. The shorter the better, because again, trying to build muscular endurance, you want to take as short rest as possible. So, and really it depends on you again. If you need longer than 30 seconds, then obviously you take it. But don't be slack with it. Don't be slack. Just don't sit around and you feel good after a minute, but you're going to take your extra 30 seconds anyway. No, get moving. Get moving, people. Let's see here. Yes, honey. You can have that. All right, sorry there, folks. And again, feel free to comment, and I will get to you as best I can from the comments below. I do appreciate everyone tuning in. And sorry for the lighting. I'm still trying to work on that. But, yeah, again, I want to make this as much your page as it is mine. I'm here to help you out in any way that I can. So let's see. How many spots? Nope. Let's see. Cardio muffin tops. Yeah. Believe it or not, I still get questions about how do I get rid of my muffin top. And I have clients who are like, well, I walk an hour a day for 5, 6, days in a row, so they're walking all the time. They do enough cardio. That's not the problem. But the God's honest truth is abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym. And I mean that from a superficial standpoint. So, yeah, we can work on your core, get it strong, get it everything. You mentioned doing like one set of excellent quick burst of high intensity. Sorry, I'm reading a question here. Are you talking about the just a regular workout or the Metcon workouts? If you're talking about like the Metcon workouts, you want it's not even a ratio, Eric. It's just kind of like just go set your timer and just go from one exercise to the other as quickly as possible. But yeah, if you're talking about the high burst intensity cardio, depending on your level, they always teach us you want to start. If you're a beginner, you want to start as a 1 to 3 ratio. So if you're working for 30 seconds, you want to take a 90-second rest. But if you've been at it for a while and you're in an advanced state, then yeah, you can go 1 to 1. That's what you want to work to. So like say you do 45 seconds of work, 45 seconds of rest, or and work. You can even work less than that. You want to go 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, depending on what your fitness level is. But you want to start out at 1 to 3, and then you work your way down there. So you could always do the inverse as well. You could take shorter rest periods and longer work periods. Any way you want to work that out. But start out Metcon. So for the Metcon, generally, I'm trying to think of what I did the other day. I did hang cleans, wall balls, burpees, ball slams, and then I did some ropes and push-ups for my workout. So yeah, generally I just set my timer at 20 minutes and I just try to complete the round as fast as possible. And after every round, I do take about 60 to 90 seconds between rounds, or just when I feel ready to go. But generally after something like that, it's close to a minute and a half before I can get myself together to get going for another round. Again, I think that stuff is fun, but fun is a real relative term in the training world. Yeah, where was I going with the other stuff? Oh, the muffin tops. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Superficially, if you want to see your abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym. But still train your abs and your core. And just by the way, and just to talk to the regular person, the core is just not your stomach, people. It's basically from your sternum down below your knees. So hips, glutes, abs, low back, that's all your core. I know when you say core, people automatically think just your abs. No, that's part of it, but that's not all of it. So core is just like a nice cylinder around from the sternum down to your knees. That is your core. So, but yeah, abs are made in the kitchen. You got to get your nutrition right. Again, I've had clients who do 6 hours of cardio a week. We weight train 2 times a week, and they always complain like I'm not making any progress. Well, I only see you for about an hour, hour and a half out of the week. I don't know what you do when you walk through the gym doors. That's on you. I find it hard to believe, and I have clients swear up and down that they don't do this, they eat clean, and I don't want to, call them out, but there are some cases where that could be true, and we need to find something else that works for you. Either change up your cardio routine or change up something you do nutritionally. But most of the time they're BSing me. So, just work on your nutritional aspect, because that is the biggest component when it comes to shedding weight. Weight training helps, cardio helps. It's great. There's tons of other health benefits. But if you're talking about body fat percentages and weight loss, you're not going to go anywhere without proper nutrition. That's just the bottom line. So get that right first, and then you'll see better results. Let's see. So yeah, sorry there for the muffin top question. And I had something else come up this week too. Hardest demographic to work with. That's kind of there's not a particular group, I would say. It's not like the older senior demographic. It's not the younger kids. Usually the younger they are, the easier they are to train. It's really the hardest thing I've had to do is try to bust some myths for some people, and I'll give you an example. With women, and I don't care what age you are, and it's usually I work with women that are over 40, I don't want to lift too much because I don't want to get big and bulky. Well, unless you're on the Bryce DeChambeau routine, you have nothing to worry about that, because hormonally, it's just not going to happen because of your estrogen levels and testosterone levels and whatnot. So you're going to get stronger. You may get more muscle development, sure, but you're not going to get big and bulky, and you don't have to worry about an Adam's apple or anything like that. So that's one myth. That's a hard myth to break, especially with the female clientele. And also another thing that's I find difficult with some clients. Some clients live and die by the scale. Like they weigh themselves every single day. And it could ruin your day. It can absolutely ruin your day. Because if you've been diligent with your exercise routine and your nutrition, and sometimes when you step on that scale after, and you think in your head that you've lost some weight, you step in that scale and it tells you something otherwise, man, you're just negatively impacted the rest of the day. So my advice to you is just weigh yourself once a week, not on a Monday. God, please don't weigh yourself on a Monday, because usually the weekend is where most people will do their damage. No Mondays, people. Weigh either like a Thursday or Friday, because your weight will fluctuate 1 to 3 pounds during the week. That's just how it is, depending on what you eat, how much fluids you intake, how much water you're just retaining in your body. Your body weight fluctuates during the week. That's a good question. Eric, should you incorporate functional training into any routine, or have a day week where you focus on functional balance, for instance, single leg, shoulder press, or bicep curls, etc.? Yeah, that's actually a great question. A couple weeks ago I discussed if I had a perfect plan for my people, I would have everyone work out for 45 minutes. The first 15 minutes will be built doing functional movement, like Eric was saying, like working on balance, working on any kind of mobility issues that you have, whether it's in the ankles, knees, or hips, or any stability issues as well. So I would start my session with that and then lead you into your weight training session. So For me, let's get into this. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can do your weight training Monday, Tuesday, and instead of resting Wednesday, you can do your functional training routine on your off days of lifting and cardio. That would be ideal because then you can still focus on that. You could spend 15 to 30 minutes just going through your exercise to incorporate that. Now, if you don't have the time and you know you have an issue, you can do one exercise and build it into your circuit. So you can do a certain type of stretch in between your dumbbell presses and, let's say, your lunges. So you can weave it into your actual program, would be one way, or the other way is, like I said, during like an active rest day, do a whole routine. So you can do that like 2 days a week. But primarily in a perfect world, you would do it before you hit the exercise floor. But it's like I said, most people don't have hours out of the day to sit there and do all that stuff. It's great. So that's a good question, and that's what I try to do. I try to do that on my active rest days. So functional, that's good. So if you want to learn more about like mobility, stability, if you're in the area or anywhere you're at, just go to the Functional Movement System website, FMS. And I myself I'm a FMS level 1 trainer, so I do screen a lot. I haven't been doing any screening lately because of the situation we're in, but I do screen all my clients. I bring them through 7 different movement patterns, and then I send them. I just sit there and analyze it, and then I'll prescribe. You're welcome, Eric. I also prescribe a bunch of exercises based on what I find from their reports. And generally speaking, most of the time it's ankle mobility, it's upper back and shoulder mobility. A lot of people have issues with those, so we'll try to really work on that before we get you under a bar or doing a certain lift. Because again, if you don't move well and you throw weight onto that, that's just going to cause all kind of issues down the road. So something you should look into. If you're going to a gym, just make sure they're FMS certified. There's one other organization out there that's really good, and I forgot the name of it, but you want to look. Always do your research before you try something out at a gym or fitness center. Just like I told you last week, look into your trainers, look into their education, their experience, how professional they are. Same thing with any aspect of health you want to do. Do your research on the person and go from there, and hopefully it works out. So yeah, just build that into your program there. So getting back to the active rest days, and I'll have more on this at a later time, but that just means either go for a leisurely walk, do your functional exercises, do some yoga, just move around a little bit. And then usually I take one full rest day. Like usually on a Sunday, I just sit out and chill and give my body time to rest, because that's an aspect that I think goes under the radar. It's just because you lift 5-6 days a week doesn't mean you're better for it. I've seen people have great results by lifting every other day and doing some active rest days and recovering. Recovery is very key. So getting your sleep with 8 to 10 hours, which I know it seems unrealistic, and since I was 17, I live on 5.5 hours of sleep. That's the one component myself that I'm missing. I don't get enough time to recover that way. But yeah, use time to recover. Your body will work better for it. So just because you work out 5 days a week compared to the guy who works out 3 doesn't mean it's apples and oranges there. So. But again, you guys just do you. Just make sure you do get that rest and stretch and take care of that. So let's see, any other questions out there? Yeah, I already went over that with the deadlift a little bit, but improving posture. You just want to do a lot of pulling movements. So if you're in the gym, is only cardio considered a rest day, or actually not doing anything? Yeah, I see your point. Depends on the intensity level that you're doing. I would consider if you're going for like a 60-minute, let's say a run, but you're doing it at a very low intensity level, like a slower than your normal race pace, I would consider that partially active recovery. I do consider not doing anything a technical rest day. Again, use stretch out, get on your foam roller, something of that nature. Go take an ice bath or an Epsom salt bath. That's a rest day for me. That's a true rest day for me. That cardio that Eric was talking about, I would consider that more of an active rest day. Something very low intense for your active. And that could be a run. Just go a little slower than you normally would go. So I hope that helped you out there. Improve posture. Yeah, so anyway, it's just working just your upper back area, your lats. You want to pull those. You want to work your muscles so it pulls your shoulders back naturally a little bit, because a lot of guys are just, most part, the problem I have, guys are idiots in the gym, especially younger guys. They're all about just the muscles you can see, the show muscles, chest, biceps, things of that nature. So in the past, people had a tendency to do way more pressing movements than pulling movements. So the ratio, there was an imbalance there. Some coaches and strength coaches will use a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning they'll do 3 pulling movements for every pushing movement. I'm not that crazy, but I do a 2-to-1 ratio. So I do 2 back exercises for every chest exercise if you're training them on the same day. But generally speaking, yeah, you want to do more pulling movements. Any pulling movements you can do to help that posture over time. And avoid hunching over and rolling those shoulders forward, because it is a problem. I mean, especially now. Again, I'm not even going into people with their work day. People, let's see here, they have this disease where they're just looking on their phone all day, wasting life, not living life, wasting life. Yep, it's a blessing and a curse, these things. But yeah. And, so I do appreciate everyone dropping in and listening. I hope you guys learned something. And I do promise you these will get a little smoother as I go along. Any pulling movement exercises? Let me see. Any pulling movements exercise you can do at home? Yep, you can. Depending on what you have at your house. Like if you have a TRX system that goes into the door, you could do your high rows that way. Even if you have tubing, you could do some face pulls or some pull aparts where you're just squeezing your shoulder blades together. Any kind of tubing that you have, you can just do some rows that way. So you can do rows with tubing, TRX. You can do some pull aparts. You can do face pulls, which essentially is getting a tube or a band, setting it high, and just kind of pulling into your nose, squeezing that back. And that should help you out. So yeah, there are tons of pulling movements you can do at home. The only problem I've had with people working out at home, and I forgot to bring this piece of equipment up, it is the pull-up bar that you see that you could attach in your doorway. Don't end up on YouTube. Make sure you have that thing secured into your door before you hop on that thing. I don't trust it because I am over 220 pounds, so I do not put myself in that position. But by all means, that is something you do at home too if you have a home pull-up bar. And also, if you have struggle with your pull-ups, get one of those super bands I was talking about. You want to loop it around your pull-up bar so the band drops down. You put your knee in the band, and then as you pull up, it's going to help you come up, and then you can come back down. So, yeah, that is another piece of equipment that I forgot to talk about. But be careful. Don't end up on YouTube. I put a video up on my Facebook page last week of gym fails, which I'm a victim of falling down that rabbit hole. You can get lost in gym fails. So, yeah. Eric, pull over push. Again, that's just because people have a tendency to do way more pushing movements than pulling movements. Especially, again, in the male gender here. I don't know what we're doing. But it's too much chest, not enough back. And, again, I think it's just that's what people see. That's what people want. Just like biceps and triceps, you should be working your triceps out more than you should be working your biceps, because there's 3 tricep muscles and only 2 biceps. Well, anyway, that's for another day. But again, I want to thank everyone for hopping on. Again, this is a weekly event from 7 to 7:30. Any question you guys want to shoot out there, but if it is a technical question, like especially like in the world of nutrition, because that is, I know some basic stuff about nutrition, but I'm obviously not a dietitian. I would need time to just look and research that and make sure I give you the correct information instead of just blurbing something out and not being right about it. But if you have an opinion, if you want to put just anything out there about workout routines, companies like CrossFit, anything workout related, go ahead and shoot it to me. I'll give you my honest opinion on it. I always do. I just like to try to keep it as real as possible, not blow smoke. So until then, folks, feel free to leave me any kind of questions that I could queue up for next week, and we'll get rolling. So until then, if you enjoyed, please like and share my page. Let's get as many people involved as possible. And until then, everyone enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe and be well. And get out there and move.